So that car is back. Not sure what's going on here. There's been some shouting from the BLM hate stalking masturbating mobile that's always parked right there in that same spot. Some creeps standing on the corner shouting, and another creep standing right here shouting. Seems like all the BLM hate stalkers are getting all agitated this evening. That's the same vehicle that was literally idling on the sidewalk directly below this window 2 hours ago. It's back. This is where all the BLM donor dollars go. Yeah, I have a funny feeling someone's going to have to call the police tonight because the BLM masturbating, perving, creeping psycho pigs are now playing music in their hate stalking mobile once again that's always parked in the same exact spot. And there looks to be a situation going on here. That's the same vehicle that was literally parked below this window for I don't know, like 15 minutes, 2 hours ago. Now it's back. It is 11 p.m. Why does the whole neighborhood have to suddenly start listening to the BLM hate stalking masturbating mobile's music? The BLM perving creeps in this building use it like a giant Bluetooth speaker, basically. Yeah, here comes the circus. Good. The more they act like a bunch of psycho clowns, the better it is for me. It's actually 11:15 p.m., so it's after 11. But like I said, the BLM perving, creeping, masturbating psycho clowns have nothing else to do other than continually disturb this corner and the surrounding area. So now what I do when these masturbating BLM psycho pigs are sitting in that hate stalking mobile whacking off to I don't know what for hours at a time, I make sure I put the phone on speaker and then I call 911 so the 911 dispatcher can hear the loud and disruptive music that this vehicle is constantly blasting throughout the neighborhood, especially late at night. It sounds like a street takeover. They're so like mentally disturbed. It's kind of funny to watch. Wow, it is an actual party, folks. Look at this. All the BLM psycho creeps are showing up tonight. Check this out. Why don't they all hang out in the parking lot? I really don't understand. There's a giant parking lot right behind this building and nobody ever uses it. They all party right here in this particular stretch of sidewalk right below these windows. It's weird. Looks like the BLM Psycho Circus has just landed on this corner, folks. At 11:15 p.m. on a weekday. They're illegally parked. That car was parked in that same spot 2 hours ago for 15 or 20 minutes. They're illegally parked. That car never moves, meaning it probably doesn't have a registration or license. Yeah. Do 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 do. It's too bad. Somebody's gonna have to call the police. It might not be me. Somebody else might try to drive through here and try to squeeze by and notice that this car has been parked there for no reason for, I don't know how long it's been now, at least 15 minutes. That car was parked in that same spot 2 hours ago, also for approximately 15 minutes, and I have part of that on a video. Yeah, that's how I feel when I look at those creeps. Maybe they should just keep walking. So BLM doesn't have a problem placing surveillance devices in my bathroom and allowing a bunch of violent psycho pervs to slam things against the wall behind my toilet when I try to use my toilet. But then they have a problem with me filming how they block the sidewalks, illegally park their vehicles all over the corner, and blast music late at night. But it's okay for them to use surveillance devices in my bathroom. That's perfectly fine. Nobody has a problem with that. But if I whip out my phone, all of a sudden they're all screaming and crying and whining and complaining that I'm harassing them. But then they get violent against the wall behind my toilet whenever I try to use that toilet because they're so mentally disturbed, sick, and twisted that they have no problem placing surveillance devices in my bathroom. Apparently that's okay, but me doing this is not. That's how you know you're dealing with a bunch of psychos who can't think straight because they're so disturbed, jealous, miserable, bored, rejected. So I just paused this for like 5 minutes and that car is still there. It's just weird. Why don't they park in the parking lot? Why don't they park in that open parking spot right there? Right? Do you see that open parking spot? But no, they have to illegally park on the sidewalk, blocking part of the street, blocking access to the front door. But then it's okay for them to place surveillance devices in my bathroom, violently harass me when I try to use a toilet or take a shower, and then they brag that they get to see what I do in my bathroom, but then this isn't okay? I can't film them blocking the sidewalk. This is all BLM psycho creeps. There's no logic to what they do. They have embezzled millions of dollars of donor money on strippers and hookers. BLM is most well known for burning, looting, and rioting during the summer of 2020. That's what they do. They don't do anything to actually elevate or help the Black community. What do they do to help the Black community? Nothing. But they sure as hell like to harass other people who don't look like them. Block the sidewalk, park illegally, blast music from their masturbating mobiles that never move because they're probably not registered or not up to the maybe they don't have tires on that car. Is that why it never moves? That car's been there. The giant silver SUV has been parked there for months. Hasn't moved. But all the psycho creeps who claim to be BLM activists like to sit in it and blast music late at night. Yeah, this video is definitely going up. When people are creating a ruckus directly below my windows after 11 p.m., I have the right to film it. I can film anything that goes on in a public space. So if they have a problem with it, maybe they should unpark their illegally parked vehicle, stop blocking access to the front door of a building, and move along. Maybe they can park in the parking lot behind the building, like logical people would, instead of blocking the sidewalk and the street and the front entrance, and then creating a disruption after 11 p.m. A disruption in a public place with other residents also being affected in nearby residences. Nearby residences, right? I mean, maybe they have soundproof windows on that house right there, but man, there's a lot of disruption going on right across from their driveway. Maybe they're just afraid of BLM. That's possible. They don't want to say anything because they don't want their tire slashed or something. Let's see how easily this vehicle manages to squeeze by here. Yeah, they had to slow down. So I'm going to have to, once again, get the license plate number of this giant silver SUV that's being used like a giant Bluetooth speaker for no reason. Blast music late at night, disrupting the entire neighborhood. It's all BLM, folks. They think they own this building complex, and they try to force out anybody who isn't BLM. How prejudicial, how racist, how sexist, how discriminatory, right? But for BLM, it only goes in one direction. They can do anything they want to anybody they want, but if you return the favor, they start screaming and shouting and whining and crying and acting like a bunch of babies. They brag to me that they have placed surveillance devices in my living space and they get to see what I do in here, and I'm a freak and I'm ugly and I'm this and that. But if I film their disruptive behavior out in a public space that's affecting the entire neighborhood after 11 p.m., then they have a problem with it. No. It goes both ways, shitheads. You know, this corner was very quiet. And now that it's like after 11, all the circus clowns start showing up. Acting like a bunch of circus clowns. Like they can't park in that parking space over there. I mean, really? You literally can't park your car 50 feet on the opposite side of the street where there's a legitimate parking space. It's too bad. Yeah, here comes the loud music from the giant silver wanking BLM psycho creep mobile. So disturbed.